part 2. Okay, we left off with question number 9. Should I fast as a vegan fruitarian? Well, let me just say this. I am a firm believer in fasting. It dates way back to biblical times. Regardless of the spiritual nature of fasting, it is indeed healthy for our bodies if we give it a rest. I mean, come on, even God rested on the 7th day. We should allow our bodies to do the same thing. Fasting unlocks a lot of benefits that it just allows your body the chance to heal. When you're digesting food, all of the energy is going to your stomach and your digestive system to process that food and get it ready to deliver nutrients and nourishment to your body. It's breaking down the amino acids and reforming them to give you the protein that you need and the energy. But if we are constantly eating, our body doesn't have a chance to rest at all. And it needs that time, that period of rest, so that it can rejuvenate. And, you know, come to think of it, remember I talked about the oldest person living in biblical times lived to be at 969 years of age? I bet you they practiced fasting. Yeah, I bet you they did. As a matter of fact, that might be something I'm going to research. And I might do a whole video just on fasting so we can find out exactly what purpose it serves, what benefits it gives, and how to do it the proper way and the best way. So we'll leave that at that. Anyway, I think that fasting is great. At least, you know, I've decided to do once a week. I start mine on Friday evening, and Saturday evening I eat again. And there are some people who practice keeping the Sabbath, which is Friday evening to Saturday evening. Well, you know what? I think it's a good idea. I'm not agreeing with religious structures or anything like that, but I think it's a great idea to pick a day of the week that ends the week. That way you're at home and you don't have to be active or energetic because you've already come home from work, you've wound down the day, you start at sunset, and the next day you just rest all day and don't eat anything, let your body mend, and in the evening you take it easy. Anytime you want to fast, you always come out of your fast slowly. I don't care if it's for a day, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever. You always come out slowly. You start with liquids and work your way up. Anyway, that's for another video. Moving on, question number 10. What is a mono meal and why should we eat this way? Well, a mono meal, mono means one. And you eat one item, or not, let me say, one type of food in a meal. Remember I talked about eating a cantaloupe and making that the meal? That's a mono meal. Grab you a bunch of bananas, eat only bananas. That's a mono meal. You eat until you're full. And trust me, when you are eating in this manner, that hormone called ghrelin gets activated, and now it can tell you, hey, I'm full. But when you're eating foods that are processed and they've been doused with added ingredients that they're called excitotoxins, they are food additives that make you crave the food. And if you've noticed when you're eating cooked food, especially at a restaurant, it's like you'll eat it and you still want more and more because it's just so good and you can't stop eating it, and you don't feel satisfied. Even after you eat it, you feel full. I mean, you feel the physical full, but that hormone is saying, I need more. You're not getting the nutrients you need. That doesn't happen when you eat fruit and vegetables. Seriously, you cannot overeat on this stuff. I tried. It don't work. You get full, and it's like you get this feeling. It says, it no longer appeals to me. I'm done. And that's that hormone ghrelin, Grhelin. I think I spelled it right, or Grelin, one of those. But it is our hunger hormone, and it lets us know when enough is enough. So, digestive and emotional processing both need large amounts of energy. Eating a mono meal gives more energy and it takes less. What's that mean? When you're eating a mono meal, it takes less energy for your body to digest it, because now this is food combining at its finest, folks. You're eating one thing. Your body knows exactly what to do with it. It doesn't have to look at this food and look at that food and break it down and say, okay, I need to I need to secrete this at this time and I need to secrete that at that time. No. If you're eating one type of food, it is so easily digested that it takes very little energy for that to happen, and that leaves more room for you to heal. I mean, let's go back prehistoric, pre-fire discovery. They probably feasted just like that. I mean, look at the animals in nature. They'll eat a certain food at one time of the day and a different type of food another time of the day. You don't see them hunting and gathering all kinds of foods and putting it in a pile and making a goulash or a stew. No, they eat one thing at a time. And they eat it until they're full. And then they'll go on to the next tree and find something else and they'll eat that till they're full. But they won't eat again until they're hungry. Okay? And so mono meals, they're really the most optimal way of eating if you're eating a wide variety of fruits and vegetables every day. Now, you don't necessarily have to keep it to that, but I like in the first thing in the morning when you're waking up and you're waking your digestive system up, you need to hydrate. So I think that the best meal for breakfast would be a mono meal, or something, if you're gonna have to mix two things together. I like to mix oranges and pineapple with some coconut water. So the best rule, I guess, is no more than 3 things mixed together in a meal. Makes it easier on the digestive system, and that's another video for another time also, just to keep this one short. Okay, so number 11. What about candida? Should I be eating fruits with this condition? Why shouldn't you? The only reason why people get candida is because they're feeding it junk, which is exactly what it likes. That's a bacteria, it's a yeast. And yeast feed on additives, added sugars and stuff like that. Sugar that's been taken out of its natural state of existence and broken down to become something that is called food but isn't really food. Sugar is not a food. Fruit is a food. It has all the components to make it a whole food. So fruit is perfectly safe. As a matter of fact, if you were to cut out all the excess fat, the processed foods, added sugars, and ate only fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, very limited amount of nuts and seeds though, you might find that the candida gets balanced. Again, let me give a quick disclaimer. I am not and do not claim to be a doctor, physician, or nutrition or dietitian. I am telling you what I have learned from my experience. This is my raw vegan journey. So I'm sharing what I've learned. Okay, now that we've got the disclaimer out of the way. It is when you eat the high fats and the starchy foods and processed foods and you're combining all those together, that's when people develop symptoms, not just candida, but symptoms of all kinds of things, digestive upset. This is your second, actually this is your first brain. This is your second brain. Your stomach is your first brain. And you should always listen to your stomach. It will never lead you astray. We also call that the seat of intuition, by the way. Anyway, that's it on candida. Number 12, and we have one more question after this. We have 13 questions today. So now here is one that I see a lot of people doing, and I wish they wouldn't. Question: is dry fasting truly safe? Never, ever. Is jumping off of a cliff safe? Is running out in front of a big truck safe? Neither is dry fasting. Your body needs water. It needs water to run. We can go months without food, but we will not last over 3 days, and some people don't even last under 3 days without water. Every organ in our body needs water to survive, to function. Taking water away from our body is like taking away air and oxygen. It just doesn't work. It's not healthy, and it can create some mental instabilities as well. It takes away your clear thinking. I mean, it just debilitates every part of your being in such a way that if you go too long without water, there's a point of no return. So if you're one of those people attempting dry fasting, don't. Please do your research first. Don't just do it on a whim because someone mentioned it and said, hey, I'm dry fasting. Oh, I want to go check this out. I'm going to do this. Don't do that. Jumping in without knowing, that's not a good idea. Not good at all. Okay, last question, and my time is running out on my timer. Is apple cider vinegar good for digestion? Okay, picking up where we left off, last question, number 13. Is apple cider vinegar good for digestion? Let me ask you a question. Can you honestly tell me that you could drink a big glass full of apple cider vinegar without the need to take a big, super long drink of water afterward? Apple cider vinegar is acidic. I'm going to read something that covers this quite extensively. So I'll be reading to you, and then I'll give my opinion. It says, and this is something that I found, cider vinegar is made by pressing the juice out of the apples and fermenting it in the same way as making cider. The fermented juice is left to age for about 6 months, and then the process of turning the alcohol into acetic acid begins. Now, most of you know acids burn, right? Oh, my camera's shaking too much here. Acetic acid is a very destructive and corrosive. It's very destructive and corrosive to the tissues of the digestive canal. That was a loud car. and to all the tissues and cells of your body. A small amount of apple cider vinegar or any vinegar will halt digestion completely. There are some who think that it helps digestion. It does the opposite, it halts it. This acid is so strong that it will dissolve certain metals and remove rust from steel. The consumption of vinegar will result in ill health and should never be consumed. There is no cure for colds. This is a reaction on the part of the organism to rid itself of the accumulated toxic debris and should not be interfered with. Vinegar is a drug whose use suppresses the body's vital activity in conducting the elimination task called a cold. Now, I kind of agree with this. I'm not going to say kind of, I fully agree with it, because over the years I have used apple cider vinegar and then I've gone without it. And I can tell you that I'm unplugged here. When I use it, at first I was using it because they said it was good. Excuse me. They said it was good to stop the pain and help your gallbladder process fat. You know what stopped the gallbladder pain? Eating fruit and vegetables, cutting out meat, cutting out cheese, cutting out milk, cutting out processed food, cutting out added sugars, cutting out chocolate pies and French fries and burgers, and that's what stopped the gallbladder pain. That's what stopped me from having pain when I ate my food, is that I ate food that was designed for my body instead of putting frankenfood in it that it did not recognize. Do you know that when you're eating cooked food, your body does not recognize it? It is a foreign substance, and your body immediately begins to react, and it sends out killer cells to get rid of this. It thinks it's infected. It thinks that somebody has invaded its territory. So it's sending out its warriors, and it's saying, let's get this shit out of here because it doesn't belong here. It's invading, and it's not good for us. So when we get colds, or we get the flu, or we get cancer, or we get diabetes, that is our body reacting to the food that you're feeding it. It's telling you, hey, don't you love me anymore? You're feeding me poison. Give me something that's going to make me feel better. That's whole foods. Whole organic foods, foods that do not have pesticides, foods that are not genetically modified. No frankenfoods. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. That is our original diet. Don't believe me? Do your research. Like I said in the beginning of my video in part 1, don't take my word for anything. Do your research. Be smart. Be knowledgeable. Knowledge is power. Power, when used with wisdom, will give you a long, happy, productive life. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, tap that little notification bell beside it, and click all. And if you would like me to do another Q&A video, please type your questions in the comment section below. If you're on your phone, you'll need to scroll down past all the videos below this, and you'll find the comment section. And if you're on your laptop, well, it's right there. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been helpful. If I helped one person today, then I am indeed blessed and honored to be of assistance. This is Anjolie signing off from my Raw Vegan journey. Have a fruitabulous, fruity-delicious, fruitunderful day. Bye. One more quick thing before I go. You can follow me on Instagram. I have a new channel there. It's called Raw Jolie, RAWJOLIE. And you can follow me there for some of my recipes. I make really simple things. I believe life should be as simple as possible. You have too many other things to worry about. Why worry about, how you have to feed yourself? I like to keep it simple. KISS, keep it simple, sweetie. So anyways, Raw Jolie, RAWJOLIE on Instagram. And you can also follow me on Facebook too. So I'll have the links for those down in the description box, along with any other pertinent information that is necessary. Okay, again, see you next time.